Welcome to all my dear students. I am Dr. Neha Rai, Associate Professor in the Department of Anatomy. Hope you all are doing well in this lockdown period, and now we'll start with today's online session. So today's topic is anal canal. Competency for this anal canal by MCI, it has been given as explain anatomical basis of internal and external hemorrhoids and anal fissures. So it has a more surgical relevance, but at the end of the session you should be able to at least describe gross features or anatomical features of anal canal. Question is most of the times asked as a short note on anal canal. Very few chances are there that they can ask you in a long question, but most of the times it is asked as a short note only. So today's class, contents of the today's class will be introduction, location, extent and course, relations, interior of anal canal, anal sphincters, which has a lot of surgical relevance, arterial drainage, venous drainage. It also has a lots of applied importance, lymphatic drainage, and finally the applied anatomy. As you all know the parts of large intestine. Who will tell me the parts of large intestine? This one is cecum. Here you can see ileum is opening into the cecum. This is ileocecal junction, and this one is appendix. Ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid, this dilated part. This one is rectum, and the last part, this one is anal canal. So the most terminal part of the large intestine, that is called as anal canal. And as you can see, the length of the anal canal is 3.8 centimeters long. 3.8 centimeters long, this here. In the lithotomical position, we can visualize both the triangles. This is symphysis pubis, this is sacrum and coccyx. This is the line we have drawn which is joining both the ischial tuberosities. Anterior to this there is a urogenital triangle, and posterior to it there is an anal canal. There is an anal triangle. In the center of this anal triangle, an opening is present, that is the opening of anal canal, and this is called as anus. To both of its sides there is ischiorectal fossa. What is present? Ischiorectal fossa. So this is the location of anal canal. This is the sagittal section. Here we can see a junction between anus and rectum. So this junction is called as anorectal junction. This is called as anorectal junction, and it passes downwards and it passes backwards, and there is an opening which can be seen, that is called as anal orifice. That is called as anal orifice. Also, this is the tip of coccyx. This is the tip of coccyx. This anal canal, this is 4 centimeters. This is 4 centimeters below. As you can see, it is lying at the lower level and in front. It is lying in front and below. So in front also it is 4 centimeters and below also it is 4 centimeters from tip of coccyx. And where there it is opening at the subcutaneous region, there is a muscle that is called as corrugator cutis ani. Corrugator cutis ani. So this is the extent and course of anal canal. This is in the dissected specimen. As you see the anal canal, this is pubis symphysis. This is the anterior portion, and this is the posterior portion. In the anterior portion, behind the pubic symphysis, you can see bladder. This is urinary bladder. Behind urinary bladder, this one is uterus. this is uterus, and below uterus there is, this part is the vagina. This part is vagina, and posterior to the vagina an opening can be seen. This is anal canal. This portion is the anal canal. So this is the way it appears in the cadaver. Once we dissect it, this is the way it appears in the cadaver. So here you can also make out that anterior to it there are two organs in the female pelvis. First one is urinary bladder, and the next one which is present here is the vagina. Also you can make out, this is the dilated portion of rectum. This is the dilated portion of rectum. This is anorectal junction, and this portion, this is anal canal. This is anal canal. And these are the sphincters. These are the sphincters. Lateral to the anal canal, what we can see here is the ischiorectal fossa. What we can see here is the ischiorectal fossa. Now relations. Now the relations of anal canal. First we are going to cover anterior relations. As we have seen, this is the anterior portion of the sagittal section of pelvis. Anteriorly we have hip bone. This portion is the pubic symphysis, and posteriorly we are having sacrum and coccyx. Posteriorly we are having sacrum and coccyx. Now this portion, this is the anal canal. Anterior to the anal canal, what is present is perineal body. What is present is perineal body and urethra. And urethra in case of males. Okay. Along with this, one more structure is present in case of females, as we have already seen in the dissected part, that is vagina. That is vagina. So the anterior relations are perineal body, urethra, and in females vagina. Now we are moving on to the posterior relations. Now we are moving on to the posterior relations. So tip of coccyx. Just below the sacrum we have tip of coccyx, and below that we have anococcygeal raphe. Anococcygeal raphe. And previously we have already seen that onto the lateral side of both this, onto the lateral side we have ischiorectal fossa. Ischiorectal fossa. We have already seen in this diagram, lateral to this anal canal, two ischiorectal fossas are present. Now we are moving on to the interior of anal canal. It is divided into two parts, upper part and lower part. We are going to study both in details. Lower part is further divided into two regions, upper region and lower region. Upper region, it is also called as pecten. So first we are going to start with upper part. First we are going to start with upper part. This is the interior of anal canal. This, what you can see, is the interior of anal canal. This is anorectal junction. This portion is anorectal junction. Okay, and below this there is a line which is called as pectinate line. A line which is called as pectinate line. Between this anorectal junction and pectinate line, this portion is called as upper part, and below this we have lower part. Okay, so this is the upper part which is present between anorectal junction and pectinate line. Okay, so it is this pectinate line which is dividing the anal canal into two parts, a upper part and the lower part. Is that clear? In this diagram also we have shown you the same thing. This is the pectinate line. This one is the pectinate line. This is anorectal junction. So this portion is the upper part. This portion is the upper part, and below this you have lower part. Now in upper part there are few features of upper part, out of which three are more important. First one is anal columns. First one is anal columns. Second is anal valves. These are anal valves. And third is anal sinuses. So these anal columns, they are also called as columns of Morgagni. Okay. Another name for this is columns of Morgagni. And they are nothing but the longitudinal mucous membrane folds. They are nothing but a longitudinal mucous membrane folds. You can see they are longitudinal folds. You can make out this. So they are longitudinal folds of mucous membrane. Okay, mainly maximum we have 10. Okay, now this one, this portion, the crescent fold, these are the crescenting folds of mucous membrane. They are called as anal valves, which are connecting the two columns. Okay, another name for is valves of Morgagni. Valves of Morgagni. Okay, and here we have pectinate line, which is also called as dentate line, and sinuses, they are nothing but the vertical recesses. Which are present. So we have seen here the features of anal canal. I forgot to tell you the length of upper part of anal canal. It is 15 mm long. And one more thing, that it originates from endoderm of hindgut. So it has different features as compared to the lower part. Three things which are important you should know is anal columns, which are also called as columns of Morgagni. Second, anal valves, which are the crescentic folds, they are called as valves of Morgagni. And anal sinus. This one is the pectinate line. Which is also called as dentate line. Now here more clearly you can see, this is the upper part. This one is the upper part. Here we have pectinate line. These longitudinal folds, they are called as anal columns. These crescentic folds, they are called as anal valves. And this has an origin. This originates from endoderm, and the length is 15 mm long. Now we are talking about the lower part. This one is the lower part of anal canal, which is further divided into two regions. As we have seen, upper region. This one is the upper region, which is called as pecten. And this extends from pectinate line to white line of Hilton. You should be able to remember these two lines. First one is pectinate line, which is also called as dentate line, and another line is white line of Hilton. Between this you have pecten. This area is called as pecten. And between white line of Hilton and anal orifice, this is the lower region. This one is the lower region. Now this region, the upper region, which is called as pecten, this is also having a length of 15 mm. And this pecten region extends from pectinate line to white line of Hilton. As we can see, this has an origin of ectodermal. This is originated from ectoderm. Okay, this is originated from ectoderm. Fine. The mucous membrane which is present in this region, it gives a bluish appearance. And this bluish appearance is because of venous plexus which is present in this region. Also the mucosa, the lining of the mucosa, which is lining the upper part and which is lining the lower part, is different. Now the lowermost region. It is 8 mm. You can see this line, this length of this portion is 8 mm. Okay, which extends from white line of Hilton to anal opening. It is lined by true skin, and it contains both sweat and sebaceous gland. So this is about the features of upper part and lower part of anal canal. Now next we are moving on to the sphincters of anal canal. it has two sphincters, internal sphincter and external sphincter. Further, external sphincter is having three parts: deep part, superficial part and subcutaneous part. Their location can be understood by their names. So here you can see a diagram of anal canal. This is the upper region. We can see anal columns. We can see here anal valves, and here you can see anal sinuses, the crescentic folds. Okay, and this is the upper region. This is the lower region. Here you can see this portion. This portion is the internal anal sphincter. This portion is the internal anal sphincter. Okay, from here the anal canal is beginning till here. Okay, so this is the upper portion. Okay, and this hole is the internal anal sphincter. It is nothing but a circular muscle coat of anal canal. Okay, it is nothing but a circular muscle coat of anal canal, and this sphincter is involuntary in nature. And as you can see, it is covering the upper 2/3 part of the anal canal. It is covering the upper 2/3 part of the anal canal. Lower, at the lower level, it is limited here till white line of Hilton. Here we have white line of Hilton, and above it is continuous. You can see this is rectum. Above it is continuous with the circular muscle of rectum, which is with the circular muscle of rectum, right? So this is nothing but a circular muscle coat which is present in the upper 2/3 of the anal canal. Above it continues with the circular muscle of the rectum, and below it is limited till white line of Hilton. Fine. This is surrounded by venous plexus, both internal and external venous plexus. Also, I would like to tell you in this diagram only, this portion, this we have seen internal anal sphincter, and here we can see external anal sphincter. As I have told you previously, it has three parts. This is the deepest part. If we are moving from, this is the surface, this is the opening of the anal canal. Here what is present is the subcutaneous part. Below that, superficial part, and the deepest part, this is called the deep part. So this is called as external anal sphincter, and this is voluntary in nature. This is voluntary in nature. But in this diagram, you should be able to visualize internal anal sphincter. Internal anal sphincter. Now next, as we have already discussed about external anal sphincter. Now external anal sphincter, this is the deep part. Okay, this deep part surrounds the internal sphincter. Okay, this surrounds the internal sphincter. Also, one more diagram I would like to show you. This is the interior portion. This is pubic symphysis. This is sacrum, and this one is coccyx. This is rectum, and here we have anal canal. This is the subcutaneous part, this is the superficial part, and this is the deep part. Okay, as you can see, this deep part of the external anal sphincter, it has no bony attachment. It is not attached anywhere. Only it blends with puborectalis. This deep part, it blends with puborectalis. This puborectalis is attached anteriorly to pubic symphysis. This is the important part, that this deep part of the sphincter, it does not have any bony attachment. It only blends with puborectalis. Next, we are moving on to the superficial part. It arises from the tip of coccyx. It is also attached to the anococcygeal raphe behind. This is the anterior portion, and this one is the posterior portion. Anteriorly, we can see it is attached onto the perineal body, and posteriorly it is attached to coccyx and anococcygeal raphe. Now the subcutaneous part. This portion is the subcutaneous part. Okay. It is in the form of a flat band. This also has no bony attachment. So we have seen the deep part and the subcutaneous part does not have any bony attachment. This does not have any bony attachment. Okay. So this is the deep part, this is the superficial part, and this is the subcutaneous part. Only one thing I would like to tell you, that it is traversed or transversed. Can you see these lines, purple color lines? These are fibroelastic septa. These are fibroelastic septa. Okay, and this is nothing but a conjoint longitudinal coat. Okay, this is nothing but a conjoint longitudinal coat. How it is formed, this conjoint longitudinal coat? You can see this puborectalis. This one is the puborectalis. It is merged or it is attached with longitudinal muscle coat of rectum. Okay, so these they both merge and they form conjoint longitudinal coat of anal canal. Right? So till here, is that clear to all of you?